afternoon, whatever time you happen to be watching this. This is the Driving in Circles podcast. And if there's a lack of a higher pitched California voice, that's because Kyle is not with us right now. He's off doing whatever the hell he does. I don't know, riding bench and basketball. I don't know. So it's just gonna be your favorite black men, me and James. So James, say what's up to the listeners.
Don't tell me to say what's up. I'll say what's up on my own accord. Hello, listeners.
All right, so there we go. So there's James. So should we just jump into to Formula One? Is that what we're
Might
doing?
as well.
Well, yeah, because NASCAR is done. IndyCar's been done. Everything is done. We're on the last leg of F1. So
Motorsport
um,
is dead.
it's dead. It's dead. And environmentalists killed it. That's a hot take. Anyway, okay, well let's you know what, let's just start with we got a Haas on pole this year. Are we gonna can we talk about that?
It was a Mickey Mouse pull because George Russell forgot how to drive a race car for like 2 seconds.
No, James. This is all because Vladimir Putin decided to invade Ukraine. Legit. Nah, who knew that Russia invading Ukraine would have given us a Haas poll?
It's even more funny when you realize it's even more funny. Yes, English. It's even more hilarious when you realize that Mick Schumacher on pure pace qualified last. It's
Well,
yeah,
he needed to ensure the Haas
tickles
ham sandwich.
tickles my fancy because I do not like Mick Schumacher, and I think he's only gotten this far in the formulas because of his last name. But I digress.
He just hates people. James is just a hater, bro. James is
I'm
really
not
just
a
a hater.
hater. He's just it's the only reason he's gotten anywhere because his last name is Schumacher. Let his name be Mick Wachowski. No one cares about him.
Do you really think a motherfucker named Wachowski is gonna be in Formula One?
Hey man, that man would have gotten kicked out. He wouldn't have got that Prema drive. He wouldn't be in the Ferrari driver program.
That's a nationwide series name, not even an Xfinity series or Bush. That's a nationwide series name. What you mean, Wasowski?
Was
Mike Wazowski ass
I
name, bro.
Wachowski like Kick Butowski? That Disney XD show. That's nostalgia right there. But we're getting off topic. Mick Schumacher bummed Kevin Magnussen, Jesus Christ himself.
Speaking of Mick Schumacher, he's gotten booted for Nico Hulkenberg, the man who's just going to extend his podiumless record. And as I
Don't
say
say
that,
that.
he's going to,
Don't
I,
say that. Don't
as
say
I
that.
say that,
Don't.
he's going to go out and get a podium in Bahrain with a P2 finish.
I hope he goes out on some. I hope Haas absolutely destroy the budget cap like Red Bull did to get their Mickey Mouse Championship. But I digress. I hope
I'm not
Haas
saying that.
goes out, misinterpret the budget just a tad bit, use some of that Stuart Haas money, and they push it all to Formula One, and they go out pole in Bahrain by 6 tenths, and they win by 17 seconds. Nico
So
Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen won too.
I need a Haas Braun GP arc. That's what I want. That's what I need.
It's not gonna happen, but we want it.
I believe it will happen one day. There will
Also,
be a Braun.
he's Corey. You're doing your little info. What your little documentary series on motorsports? Here's one.
Yeah.
How the Braun car, how Braun GP's car was extremely illegal. Maybe you went on those.
It's because of the double the fussy. It's the double the fussy. Who need that double the fussy eight, James? Who need it?
We gotta
Who
cut that out.
need
You are screeching. We gotta cut that out, Corey.
they double the fussy eight?
Okay, but qualifying very eventful. Why? Because everything got shaken up and nothing made any sense. We had Kevin Magnussen on pole. In second place, we had Corey's guy, Corey's favorite, Corey's favorite, Max Verstappen, ready to ruin
Man,
things.
hell nah, man. I'm upset with him right now. No, no.
Oh, are we gonna talk about that in our hot takes? Ooh, ooh.
Vomit.
Mm. Max Verstappen qualified P2. George Russell P3. Lando P4, like his number. Carlos P5. Esteban P6, Fernando P7. That is very important that the Alpines are starting right next to each other. Lewis 8th, Checo 9th, and Charles 10th. That is the top 10, and that is all the important people in qualifying. Nobody else matters. Then we go on to the sprint race, where everything was everything but calm because it did nothing made sense. We had George Russell absolutely crip walking on the entire field. He after the third attempt, he he took Max Verstappen's ankles on the backstretch and got in the first and then just dipped as the Red Bull looked very lost and had zero speed as it did for the rest of the weekend. And then a nice little second place. Wouldn't you say a nice little second place for Carlos Sainz? He's needed it after the run of garbage he's had of late. He's needed it. He needed it. Wouldn't you say, Corey?
Sure.
Don't say sure like that. He needed a good result, and he got
Ferrari
a
needs
good result. And
Jesus
then
at this point.
he dropped back to 5 places. He dropped back to seventh, which means we had a Mercedes front row lockout for the first time since like 2020. That deserves a bit of a round of applause. I give that a round of applause. Mercedes front row lockout. I I clap that up myself. No, it's the first Mercedes front row lockout since Saudi Arabia in 2021 because that was when Max biffed it into the wall of the final corner. But the sad part about this sprint, Kevin Magnussen, who started on pole and we thought he was going to do big things, slipped back to eighth. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Your thoughts, Corey, on Kevin Magnussen fumbling the bag?
He sold. That's all you get out of
That
me for Kevin. That's it. He
that is.
sold.
And then we go to the race. Corey, I say race of the year. What do you say? I say race of the year. I say race of the year. What do you say though, Corey? Because I know you want to be stupid sometimes.
Uh, Obviously, Pocono was race of the year.
See, he wants to be stupid. But we had a George Russell W. No, you are not. He is no longer Mr. Saturday. He doesn't just do it on Saturday. He does it on Sunday. Absolutely biblical scenes. Biblical scenes. Lewis Hamilton, P2. That means Mercedes 1-2. He should have won, but Max is an idiot and blames all of his mistakes on other people because he's a whiny baby that has been given everything in life. But we're not going to talk about that.
He's been
Lewis
given
Hamilton.
trauma by his father. You're talking about given. He's been given abuse by
He's
his
also
dad
been given a pedestal because his father was in F1. It's about the easiest
and
path you can get.
and abuse. See
Okay,
that
but
that's why Mick didn't do well because his father didn't leave him out to dry.
mm,
He didn't. Mick doesn't have that character development. He doesn't have that strong character development like Max
don't
does.
don't don't say Carrie. Don't try
Tra-
and don't try
Trauma
and
builds
justify. Don't
trauma
try and
builds
justify.
character.
Don't try and
Trauma
justify his
builds
father beating him.
character.
Don't say
Trauma builds. There is
does it.
no way that someone that talented didn't have a traumatic childhood in some way, shape, or form as a kid.
I feel
Trauma
like
brings out that talent in people. When Lewis was being discriminated against in karting, that's why he's so good. Because racism.
this just doesn't this isn't right. I don't think we could use trauma as a factor of he got that dog in him.
Was he? Well, trauma brings out the dog in people.
I don't
Why
think
else
we
do
can.
you think Michael Vick was such a good quarterback?
Oh my. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Completing the podium, we had Carlos Sainz. Very controversial though, because Charles Leclerc was over the radio bitching and moaning about how Carlos should give him the position so Charles could get second in points. And now, personally, I believe that that's a load of bullshit, unlike what happened at Red Bull, because Carlos raced his way up cleanly to get to this third place after taking the 5th place engine drop in qualifying. He raced his way up cleanly, and you can't just take a podium away from somebody so you can have 3 extra points on your rival. I think that was very selfish of Mr. Leclerc, and he should be ashamed for asking for that. Then we have an amazing drive for Fernando Alonso. I hate complimenting him, but it was an amazing drive up to P5 after almost getting murdered by his teammate in the sprint. I can respect it. And now we have a certain somebody in six. Would you care? You're the Max Verstappen stand boy in this group, Corey. You take us through that incident. Well, not the incident. Just take us through a little bit of your thoughts. We got to save it for the hot lap segment.
First and foremost, I am a Red Bull fan before I am anyone else fan, and this is no different. That was not cash money. That was not very cash money at all.
Not in the slightest.
No.
Then we have Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon in eighth. Decent drive compared to his teammate. That you know what that does since both the Alpines got points and both the McLarens DNF. McLaren pretty bad. Both the McLarens DNF. That means Alpine is about to be running away with this best of the rest title. Valtteri Bottas, this is his first points day in a while. I have not seen Valtteri Bottas in the points in a minute. 2 points for ninth place. And then Lance Stroll. I'm 90% sure he passed Sebastian Vettel on the last lap. I've seen no views of it or anything because nobody cares about the Aston Martins. But like I saw on the ticker, he went by him on they switched. I don't know when it happened, but they switched. So I'm just gonna assume he passed him on the last lap. The Aston Martins have had a lot of tasteful scraps over the season, and it's been really underrated because they have been in that 10th place to 15th place range. And then you go all the way to the bottom, and you see the disappointment of the day. Kevin Magnussen started the weekend started the he qualified on pole. He finished 19th, DNFing with Daniel Ricciardo on the opening lap. Sad scenes, terrible scenes, but that's how the sport is. That's just how the sport is, isn't it, Corey?
Perhaps.
No insight, like always. Very helpful, Corey. Well, now we're on to silly season. It's about that time. Nico Hulkenberg is back in Formula One. Give him a little round of applause. Give him a little round of applause. I'd I'd say a little congratulations. It's deserved. He didn't deserve to be booted out of Formula One, and then he hasn't really gotten a chance, and now he's gotten his chance back, and I feel like he'll impress. Mick Schumacher is now out, and it's looking very murky for him. We've heard reports that Mercedes want to sign him as a third driver, but like I don't. We're not gonna know until it officially comes out because you never know. You never know. He could go over to the states and race IndyCar, and if he really wanted to, you could just fire Eric Almirola and put him in that 10 car. I think Mick Schumacher goes and gets himself a couple wins in the Cup Series. But I'm not the one to be speculating here. I think that loud sigh says it all. Your thoughts on where Mick Schumacher might end up?
He should just go to IndyCar and become a seven-time IndyCar champion. Follows his father's footsteps or something. I don't know. Give him a sticker.
I don't say give him a sticker. He hasn't earned a sticker. All he has is his last name.
Don't say that.
Yes, it is. He has his little Mickey Mouse 2020 Formula 2 championship, and everyone has come to agreement that every sporting champion named in the year 2020 was Mickey Mouse. We can all confirm. We can all
I
confirm.
was the one that did say that. Yeah, it was 2020. His
Exactly.
retcon. I was the
Exactly.
one that
The
said that.
wreck
So
from the wreck from Cory Johnson's mouth, so he can't even say nothing. I believe that Mick Schumacher will not be an F1 again. He probably shouldn't be an F1 again. And if he goes on to be a reserve driver and then takes the Mercedes seat when Lewis leaves, I think it will be one of the most undeserving promotions ever. But that's not my time to talk. Speaking of silly season, Corey, we have a lot of silly season news in NASCAR. Take us through some of that, Corey.
Your favorite driver, Ryan Reese's Pieces.
You
I'm never
never
saying
call
that.
Ryan Preece my favorite
I'm never saying
ever
that
again.
that bullshit again.
Ever again. Nah, nah.
I won't address your favorite driver as Ryan Reese's Pieces. I'll never say that again. I'm sorry.
Don't say he's my favorite driver ever again. The disrespect. The
Yeah,
dis
he's driving the 41. He's replacing Cold Custard, if you will.
Cole Custer. It's a shame Cole Custer got booted out this early. He got his one little win at what, Kentucky, Kansas,
Yeah,
one
he is the
two.
last winner at Kentucky.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Such a good track went out on a
Man,
uh,
shut the hell up!
such a good track went out.
The hell up! The hell up! The hell up!
Such a good
The
track went
hell up!
out on a Cole Custer win.
The
What a shame.
fuck up!
What a shame. What a shame. What a shame.
Shit.
But we have more silly season news. More silly season news. One of my actual favorite drivers, Ty Gibbs, moving the cup in the 54 car. How do you feel about that? Because I personally think that it was the right move to get rid of the 18 after Kyle Busch left JGR. That is pretty much Kyle Busch's number. He made that 18. Well, he didn't make the 18. He, how do you say? What's the word I'm looking for here? He
He
didn't
took
make
it and
it.
he made it his own. He made it
Yeah,
his own. That's
yeah.
it.
He made the 18 his, and when he left, I don't think anybody else should be driving the 18 in Cup. And I respect uh, Coach Gibbs for letting for getting rid of the 18, even though
Where
it's
was
not
this
be for long.
energy when Bobby Labonte left and they put JJ Yaley in the 18? What about that, James? Hmm?
But like Bobby Labonte wasn't as transcendent as Kyle Busch. I don't want to hear you try and argue that because I know you are. I don't want to hear you
It's
try and argue.
Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, but like it's not Kyle Busch. See what I'm saying here? Also, speaking of Kyle Busch and cherry picking, Cold Custer, Cold Custer, going back to Xfinity. And what I'm getting at is Cold Custer is about to go down, quote unquote, mentor Riley Herbst, go on, win 12 races, and win the Xfinity Series championship. That's what I'm getting from this. The whole point of him going down was to mentor Riley Herbst, but I know that's not going to happen. That's not
Riley
going to
Herbst is making the final four. I'm booking it now. I'm
Riley
saying it
Herbst
with my
not making
chest.
the final. I'm
He's
you know
winning a
what
race.
you
He's
know
winning
what
races.
screw it. I'm gonna do my Xfinity Final Four predictions right now, and you can marquee it me right now. Cole Custer, don't even know what number he's gonna be driving.
Double
Brandon
zero,
Jones,
probably. It's gonna be the
no,
double
Cole
zero.
Custer, Brandon Jones, Josh Berry. Let me think on this one. Sheldon Creed. That's the final
It's gonna be Haas versus Junior Motorsports.
versus RCR. See what I'm getting from this is that you are a Riley Herbst fanboy for no reason. The guy is not good. Simply not good.
I
If
like Riley Herbst.
he's not good,
He's he is improved. No one's gonna give him credit except me. I'll
he
give him fucking credit. He
improved.
improved a lot
He's
from last year.
improved.
He
He's
improved a lot.
when you
He
take a
did.
pile no. When you take a pile of fucking dog shit and you turn it into a pile of human shit, that doesn't. It's still shit. It's just the shit got better. Don't. We're not gonna do this. We are not gonna do this. But he got better. He improved. He has 14 top tens instead of 13.
No, He has 20. He has more top tens than
Yeah.
Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, and Sam Mayer.
Mhm. Mhm.
And more top fives than them.
Mhm. 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 And made it uh about he was a first round exit. With he left with Daniel Hemrick, and then he didn't make it as far into the playoffs as Sam Mayer and who else? Who else did you say? See, you
Man,
can't
fuck yo, baby.
see. This is why, Corey. This is why we need Kyle to control us. We're just going off the rails every 2 seconds. We need
Well,
some
this is gonna be a more fun episode. This is gonna be a more fun episode. Well,
and
also Riley Herbst outperformed Landon Castle, so fuck
mm,
Landon Castle. Just kidding. I don't
don't
hate
do
Landon
any.
Castle. That was hurtful. I apologize, Landon. I apologize.
See, this is why we're not going to get sponsored. You're just saying if Landon Castle, and if Landon Castle might have been, he might have been on the pod, and then his agent or whatever listens to this episode and he hears you saying F Landon Castle, he's not going to want to be on the podcast anymore.
I
You're
apologize,
ruining
Landon.
our
I retract all
opportunity.
my statements. I sincerely apologize.
Respectable.
I meant
Well,
to say fuck Kyle.
mm, mm-hmm. Well, now it's this, we've just stolen Kyle's job. We got to do all the transitions ourselves. This is really boring. I don't understand how Kyle does this every episode.
Cause he's boring. That's why he
It's
doesn't
like
make it.
reading off of the script. Oh, now we go like now he's got to be Kyle. Now we go to the hot lap segment where we talk about if a topic is hot or not. This week's
Ka-chow. That's how you sound right now.
this week's segment we talk about is Max in the wrong for not letting
Yes,
Checo
yes,
by?
yes, 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 yes,
Explain your reasoning,
yes,
Verstappen fan.
yes.
Explain your reason.
I'm a Red Bull racing fan before I'm a Max Verstappen fan. Let's just get that one thing clear.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was. That was not cash money of Max. After everything Checo has done for him, just why? What did you gain from that, Max? This is a piece, bro. You already have the title. Your team already locked up the constructors title. Just help Checo out. You donut. What was the point? Don't sour the relationship you have. What did you gain from that?
Because
What
he's
did
a
you gain
dick.
from that?
Because he's a dickhead, and I don't like Max Verstappen. And I
Man,
know,
we know you don't. We know you don't.
and I know our podcast is not going to get big enough for us to interview Max Verstappen. That's why I'm going to say all this. That's why I'm going to say all this. I do not like Max Verstappen. He is a bum. Well, I wouldn't say he's a bum, but I just don't like him. I don't like the man's personality. As you hear that click, I don't like the man's personality. I don't like his face. I don't like the Dutch national anthem. I don't like anything concerning with Max Verstappen. But I digress. And I also think that that is one of the worst moves as a teammate you could do because Checo has literally been number one wingman, and Max is upset because he quote unquote wrecked to make sure Max couldn't qualify, get a good quali lap in at Monaco. Like, sir, sir, are you here with us, sir? What are you doing? How stupid can you be? He's also upset about a race that he got third in and help elevate him in the championship ahead of Leclerc. This is just childish. It's just childish at this point, and he should be ashamed. He should be ashamed. That is actually he's costing the team points. He's costing his teammate money for bonuses that they get for finishing higher in the championship. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, come on, man, if you're gonna be this sour and this upset about something that happened back in May, we are in November, almost in December, second to last race of the year, and you want to be like this, that is the utmost disrespect to your teammate, and I feel like Checo needs to pay him back one good time next year. Checo just needs to pay him back for that. Well, it's gotten to that time of the show We are 24 minutes in. It's a short little episode, which means we got to do our race predictions for
But
Abu final race
balls.
of the year. Race predictions for Abu Dhabi. Who you got, Corey?
Um, a Red Bull.
Which Red Bull, Corey?
The one with one on it.
They both have ones on it.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna assume you're picking Checo Perez on your leave of absence of being a Max Verstappen fan.
I'm picking a Red Bull to win.
Mm-hmm. I am going to select Lewis Hamilton because this is his final chance to get the win and secure the 17 years straight streak that he has of getting a win in every season of F1 that he's participated in. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be very sad. And I think if he gets on the podium, if he wins and Seb is on the podium and we get Nicholas Latifi points, I think we just need to like take a moment and look back. Also, this is being recorded on Friday night, so we've gotten through both practice sessions. The Mercedes has looked really good today so far in the practice. I'm just saying, I don't want to get my hopes up like I have for the past 5 races, but they've been looking really good in the practice sessions, and we're gonna find out if it's all worth it tomorrow at qualifying, bright and early in the morning.
Yay!
Why did you just screech, Corey?
Because James. Because it was a screechable offense.
Okay. Well, we're at the end of the show. As you can see, we started with so much enthusiasm and we both sound very dead, which means it's time to end the show. Make sure to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your mother, share it with your mother's friends, dog walkers, cat, kitten.
This your mother's favorite podcast.
This your
This your
mother's
mother.
favorite podcast
Nah,
and father's favorite
it's your
podcast.
mother's
She cat favorite
boyfriend's favorite
podcast.
podcast too,
This is your
and Lil
mother's
Aiden favorite,
boyfriend.
and
Over
Lil Aiden's favorite podcast. This Lil Aiden favorite podcast too with the fruit snacks.
everybody favorite podcast. Like, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do. Uh Kyle's not here to yell at me to play outro music, so we just about to skedaddle.
Skedaddle skadoodle, your PP is now a